Imagine waking up in a city where everything looks normal, coffee shops buzzing, condos rising, but beneath the surface, the middle class is quietly collapsing. You won't believe how fast some Canadian cities are becoming impossible to afford, and the most shocking one isn't the city you think. From soaring housing costs to wages that can't keep up, these trends are accelerating right now. And as we count down the top 10 places where the middle class is officially breaking, stay tuned, because number 1 will genuinely surprise you. Before we dive in, hit like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss what's coming next. Number 10. Hamilton, Ontario. Hamilton is the city that looks like it should still work for the middle class. Gritty, hardworking, full of potential. But in 2026, the numbers tell a very different story. Once known as an affordable alternative to Toronto, Hamilton has rapidly transformed into a place where wages can't keep up with skyrocketing living costs. In 2026 estimate, Hamilton's population sits around 590,000 residents spread across 439 square miles, giving roughly 1,300 people per square mile. The median household income is about $82,000, but the median home price has climbed near $780,000, a massive jump from just a decade earlier. Hamilton experiences classic southern Ontario weather, hot, humid summers and cold, windy winters. Lake Ontario adds an extra chill factor in January, and the freeze-thaw cycles wreak havoc on roads, making commutes rougher and maintenance costs higher for homeowners already stretched thin. Historically a steel and manufacturing hub, Hamilton's economy now leans on healthcare, logistics, education, and construction. But the decline of traditional middle-class jobs has left many workers scrambling in lower-paying or unstable roles. Wage growth is slow, and competition for the few high-paying positions is intense. Housing is the biggest pressure point. What was once the affordable Toronto alternative is now almost as expensive as the GTA. Heating costs spike during long winters, and property taxes add another blow to middle-class budgets. Public transit is improving, but many residents still rely on long drives that drain both time and gas money. Hamilton's trails, waterfalls, and revitalized downtown offer real charm. The art scene is growing, and its proximity to Toronto remains a big draw. Hamilton is beautiful, resilient, and full of character, but the shrinking middle class is feeling the squeeze harder each year, making it a tough place to build a stable future. Number 9. Kelowna, British Columbia. Kelowna looks like a postcard, shimmering lakes and mountains, but beneath that beauty is one of the most strained middle-class markets in all of Canada. The city's explosive popularity has pushed living costs into levels that traditional local salaries simply can't support. In a 2026 estimate, Kelowna's population is about 155,000, spread across 84 square miles, with a density of roughly 1,850 people per square mile. The median household income is around $78,000 CA, while the median home price sits near a staggering $930,000 CA, one of the steepest income-to-housing gaps in the country. Kelowna enjoys warm, dry summers and mild winters, but fire seasons have become a real challenge. Smoke-filled skies and evacuation alerts disrupt daily life, and summer heat waves drive up energy costs for those already stretched financially. Winters are manageable, but snowstorms still occasionally snarl transportation. Tourism, agriculture, tech startups, and construction fuel Kelowna's economy, but most jobs are seasonal or moderate paying, while high earners from Vancouver and Alberta drive up housing demand. Locals often juggle multiple roles just to stay afloat, as the city grows faster than its wages can support. Housing is the ultimate pressure point. Owning is nearly impossible for young families, and rents continue to climb as investors snatch up properties. Transportation is car-dependent, and gas prices bite hard. Groceries, utilities, and heating costs are all above the national average. Healthcare wait times have grown with the rapid population influx. Despite the challenges, Kelowna offers unmatched scenery, beaches, and a laid-back lifestyle many dream of. Outdoor lovers flock here for hiking, boating, and year-round beauty. Kelowna may look like paradise, but for the middle class trying to survive 2026's price surge, paradise comes with a price that few can truly afford. Victoria, British Columbia. Victoria feels like the kind of city where the middle class should thrive. Calm, ocean views, clean streets, a slower pace than Vancouver. But in 2026, it has quietly become one of the most unaffordable cities in the entire country, especially for working families. Victoria's 2026 estimate population is about 410,000 in the metro area, covering around 32 square miles, with a density of roughly 12,800 people per square mile. The median household income sits near $74,000 CA dollars, while the median home price hovers around $960,000 CA dollars, creating a massive affordability gap. Victoria enjoys some of the mildest weather in Canada, cool, rainy winters and warm, sunny summers. But that mild climate attracts retirees and remote workers, driving up housing demand. Winter storms occasionally knock out power, and the dampness raises heating and insulation costs for older homes. The local economy depends on government jobs, tourism, hospitality, and tech. Many positions offer stability but not high wages. The influx of higher-income remote workers has inflated prices well beyond what average salaries can support. Younger workers are increasingly pushed to take on multiple part-time roles to manage rent. Housing is the biggest pressure point. Even rent for modest apartments is steep. Transportation is decent, but bus-reliant. Ferries add extra costs for travel to the mainland. Utilities and groceries are higher than national averages due to island logistics. Healthcare access is good, but becoming strained with population growth. Victoria is stunning. Oceanfront paths, historic architecture, whale watching, gardens, and a peaceful lifestyle that feels almost European. It's ideal for retirees, outdoor lovers, and those who can afford a premium lifestyle. Victoria offers unmatched beauty and comfort, but for the middle class, the soaring 2026 costs make staying long-term feel nearly impossible.
Number 7. Barrie, Ontario. Barrie used to be the place families moved to for cheaper homes in commutes into Toronto, but by 2026, the secret is out, and the once affordable escape has become a pressure cooker for middle-income earners. Today, Barrie sits in a strange limbo, still marketed as affordable, while quietly pricing out the very people it was built for. Barrie's estimated population in 2026 sets around 165,000, spread across 31 square miles, giving a density of roughly 5,300 people per square mile. The median household income is about 89,000 Canadian dollars, while the median home price has climbed to about $760,000, a sharp jump from the early 2020s. Barrie's winters are serious business. Heavy lake-effect snow, icy winds, and long freezing periods. Snow removal is expensive, and heating bills skyrocket in January. Summers are warm and pleasant, but sudden storms and flooding concerns add to maintenance costs for homeowners. Barrie relies on retail, construction, service roles, and commuting to Toronto. With the rising cost of gas and transportation, long-distance commuting has become financially draining. Local wages haven't kept up with soaring living costs, leaving many families stretched to their limit. While Barrie has grown rapidly, infrastructure is still catching up. Traffic congestion is growing, public transit is limited, and housing is no longer the bargain it once was. Groceries, childcare, and utilities all cost more than the provincial average, making everyday life heavier on middle-class budgets. The lakeside scenery is Barrie's biggest asset. Beaches, waterfront trails, skiing nearby, and a family-friendly vibe. It's peaceful, outdoorsy, and great for nature lovers. Barrie still feels like a community worth rooting for. But for the middle class in 2026, that dream is slipping further away with each rising bill. Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnipeg is one of Canada's most misunderstood cities. Wide open spaces, prairie charm, culture, and affordability that once made it a middle-class stronghold. But by 2026, even Winnipeg isn't immune to rising costs, stagnating wages, and growing strains on infrastructure have pushed many families to the edge. The city that used to be a budget-friendly refuge is now facing pressures it struggled to keep up with. Winnipeg's estimated 2026 population sets around 780,000, covering 180 square miles with a density of about 4,300 people per square mile. The median household income is roughly 75,000 Canadian dollars, while the median home price has climbed to about $420,000, a still low by national standards but rising faster than wages. Winnipeg is famous for its brutal winters. Temperatures often plunge below negative 30 degrees Celsius with long stretches of freezing winds and heavy snowfall. Heating bills are massive during the coldest months, and road conditions can be harsh, increasing transportation and home maintenance costs. Summers, while warm, bring thunderstorms and humidity. Government roles, manufacturing, transportation, and healthcare make up much of Winnipeg's workforce, but many of these jobs haven't seen real wage growth in years. Younger workers often find themselves in lower-paying service roles, struggling to save while inflation eats into every paycheck. Housing is still cheaper than most major cities, but the gap is shrinking. Property taxes continue to rise, groceries are among the highest in the prairies, and aging infrastructure means residents deal with frequent repairs, potholes, and long commute times. Heating costs alone can consume a painful chunk of monthly income. Winnipeg has heart: festivals, arts, parks, and a diverse food scene. The cultural community is strong, and the pace of life is grounded and friendly. Winnipeg is still a place people want to love, but in 2026, even here, middle-class stability is becoming harder to hold on to.
Number 5. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax used to be the East Coast's affordable gem. Ocean breezes, universities, culture, and a cost of living far below Toronto or Vancouver. But explosive population growth and soaring demand have transformed Halifax into one of Canada's fastest changing and most financially strained cities for middle-class families in 2026. Halifax's 2026 estimate population is about 490,000, spanning 2,000 square miles, regional municipality, resulting in roughly 245 people per square mile. The median household income sits near $72,000, while the median home price has surged to around $570,000, nearly doubling over the past decade. Halifax deals with unpredictable weather: cold, wet winters with heavy winds, and summers that swing from pleasant warmth to intense humidity. Coastal storms and hurricanes have become more common, causing power outages, flooding, and higher insurance costs that hit homeowners hard. The economy runs on education, healthcare, shipbuilding, tourism, and government roles, but many jobs here are moderate-paying, and wage growth hasn't kept up with the cost of living. The influx of remote workers and students has intensified competition for housing, squeezing out locals who once relied on Halifax's affordability. Housing is the biggest pressure. Rentals are scarce, old buildings need expensive repairs, and home prices are climbing far faster than incomes. Groceries are high due to transport costs, and utilities, including heating, are rising every year. Transit is improving but still limited, pushing more people into long commutes. Despite the crunch, Halifax is stunning. Oceanfront walks, historic buildings, friendly communities, and a lively nightlife fueled by students and artists. Halifax remains one of Canada's most charming coastal cities, but by 2026, the middle class is struggling to stay afloat as costs outpace local earnings. Number 4. Calgary, Alberta. Calgary has long been the symbol of middle-class strength: big paychecks, big homes, and big opportunities. But in 2026, the cracks are showing. The city is still ambitious, still proud, but increasingly split between those who can ride out economic swings and those who get crushed by them. Calgary's middle class is stuck in a cycle of boom and bust that's harder to survive each time. Calgary's 2026 estimate population sits around 1.37 million, spread across 318 square miles, giving a density of roughly 4,300 people per square mile.
The median household income is about $105,000, while the median home price sits near $610,000, up sharply since the late 2020s. Calgary's winters are fierce, with temperatures regularly dropping below minus 25 degrees Celsius and sudden cold snaps known as polar vortexes. Chinook winds bring temporary warmth, but the constant shifts can be hard on homes and energy bills. Summers are warm and dry, with occasional hailstorms that can cause thousands in unexpected property damage. Calgary remains deeply tied to oil and gas. While diversification efforts are underway, many middle-income jobs depend on an industry known for volatility. Layoffs hit hard, contract roles are more common, and the promised tech boom has yet to lift wages for ordinary families. High-paying jobs exist, but competition is brutal. Housing is cheaper than Vancouver and Toronto, but prices are rising fast. Property taxes, insurance, and utilities, especially winter heating, weigh heavily on budgets. Commutes can be long, and while transit is improving, many neighborhoods require driving. Groceries and services have jumped in price with inflation. Calgary shines with mountain access, clean neighborhoods, parks, festivals, and a family-friendly vibe. For outdoor lovers, it's paradise. Calgary offers opportunity, but in 2026, the middle class is feeling squeezed by economic instability and rising costs that chip away at long-term security.
Number 3. Ottawa, Ontario. Ottawa is peaceful, clean, and steady. The kind of city you'd expect to be a safe haven for the middle class. But in 2026, even the nation's capital is struggling. Housing prices have skyrocketed, wages can't keep up, and the city's once reliable affordability has quietly slipped away. The middle class here is being pushed into tighter budgets and shrinking expectations. Ottawa's 2026 estimate population is around 1.10 million, covering 1,080 square miles, giving a low density of about 1,020 people per square mile. The median household income sits near CA dollars $102,000, but the median home price has surged to roughly CA dollars $710,000, a major blow to families hoping to buy. Winters in Ottawa are long, snowy, and brutally cold, with temperatures dipping below minus 20 degrees Celsius for weeks. Heavy snowfall drives up heating costs and affects commutes. Summers are warm and humid, but sudden storms and flooding risks create additional repair and insurance concerns for homeowners. Government work dominates Ottawa, offering stability, but not rapid wage growth. Tech jobs are rising, but competition is intense, and many positions are contract-based. Public sector salary freezes over recent years have left workers with less purchasing power, even as everything around them becomes more expensive. Housing is the biggest challenge. Rent has soared, home prices are high, and suburban sprawl forces many workers into long, costly commutes. Groceries, transportation, and childcare continue to rise. The LRT system, meant to relieve congestion, has struggled with breakdowns and delays, frustrating residents. Ottawa is rich in green space, museums, cycling paths, and safe neighborhoods. It's a calm, family-friendly city with strong cultural offerings. Ottawa still looks like the perfect middle-class city on paper, but in 2026, rising costs are quietly eroding the stability families once took for granted. Number 2. Toronto, Ontario. Toronto has always been Canada's powerhouse, the financial engine, the cultural magnet, the global city. But in 2026, it's also one of the hardest places for the middle class to survive. Life here moves fast, prices move faster, and the people caught in between are feeling crushed by the weight of a city that seems to cater only to the very rich and the very poor. Toronto's 2026 estimate population is roughly 3.1 million, spread over 243 square miles, giving a density of about 12,800 people per square mile. The median household income is around $78,000 CA dollars, while the median home price sits near 1.01 million CA dollars, officially pushing traditional middle-class families out of ownership. Toronto sees 4 true seasons: humid summers, chilly springs, beautiful autumns, and winters filled with snow, slush, and biting wind.
While not the coldest city, heating bills spike in January, and extreme temperature swings strain older buildings and increase home repair costs. The city has Canada's widest range of opportunities: finance, tech, healthcare, film, retail, construction, and more. But high competition and stagnant wages mean even skilled workers struggle. Many middle-class jobs have shifted to contract or hybrid roles, offering less security. Combined with soaring rents, households feel squeezed from every angle. Toronto's biggest problem is affordability. Rents are among the highest in the country. Childcare costs rival major U.S. cities, and daily expenses from parking to groceries have surged. The TTC is extensive but aging, and long commutes drain both time and income. Utilities, property taxes, and transportation fees keep climbing. Toronto is vibrant. Festivals, nightlife, diverse cuisine, global culture, arts, and endless activities. It's energetic, cosmopolitan, and full of life. But in 2026, the middle class is fighting a losing battle against housing prices and everyday living costs.
Number 1. Vancouver, British Columbia. Vancouver is breathtaking. Mountains, ocean, forests, and a lifestyle most cities can only dream of. But in 2026, it also holds the title of Canada's most brutally unaffordable city for the middle class. Everyday life here feels like a balancing act between what you earn and what the city demands just to exist. Vancouver is stunning, but it's also financially unforgiving. Vancouver's 2026 estimate population sits around 680,000 in the city proper, spread across 44 square miles, with a density of about 15,450 people per square mile. The median household income is roughly 82,000 Canadian dollars, while the median home price is an astonishing $1.12 million, one of the highest income-to-cost ratios in North America. Vancouver's winters are mild but extremely wet, months of constant rain, gray skies, and damp cold that seeps into older buildings, increasing heating costs. Summers are warm and comfortable, but droughts and water restrictions have become more common. Occasional wildfire smoke turns the sky orange and disrupts outdoor life. The city thrives on tech, tourism, real estate, film, and international trade. Jobs exist, but the pay simply does not match the cost of living. Many workers survive by taking multiple jobs, living with roommates, or delaying major milestones like home ownership and raising a family. Wage growth continues to lag far behind inflation and housing costs. Transit is reliable and modern, but housing remains the biggest barrier to stability. Rent is sky-high, groceries are expensive, and utilities, especially electricity and heating in damp buildings, pile up fast. Even middle-income earners feel constantly stretched, with little chance to save. Vancouver is undeniably beautiful. The beaches, mountains, forests, food scene, and multicultural environment make it one of the world's most desirable places. Vancouver may look like paradise, but in 2026, the middle class is breaking under the weight of costs that rise far faster than incomes. And there you have it, 10 Canadian cities facing a future few people are brave enough to talk about. Whether it's shrinking job markets, rising housing instability, or whole neighborhoods hollowing out, the warning signs for 2026 are loud and clear. But remember, none of this is set in stone. Cities rise, cities fall, and the people paying attention early are the ones who stay ahead. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel reach more Canadians who need to hear what's coming. And tell me in the comments, which city surprised you the most? Thanks for watching and stay prepared. The next video dives even deeper.